Hello everybody and welcome to another edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk live on YouTube and StreamYard.com. It is Girl MF Michael Fletcher alongside Anthony Florio, Michael Bullock, and Dee Woodson. And guys, tonight we have a very loaded show for you here this evening. Smackdown Live Review. We were in the Thunderdome tonight in the MOA Arena in Orlando, Florida, live and exclusively on Fox. Plus, we got a preview of NXT 30, the NXT Takeover 30 tomorrow night from Full Sail University, and then of course the hottest night of the summer, Summerslam, in the confines of the Thunderdome, inside of the MOA Arena in Orlando, Florida, and a big announcement. One of us is actually going to be in the Thunderdome on Sunday night. We'll tell you who that lucky person is later on tonight. But we did start it off with Vince McMahon, Vincent Kennedy McMahon, welcoming everybody to SmackDown Live, welcoming the world to the Thunderdome. And we finally got the glimpse of it, the first look of it live, in person, in color. And I gotta say, it looked pretty impressive. I was very impressed with what WWE has done. But before we do anything, the lights went out and the Fiend showed up. So McMahon was standing basically 6 feet from the Fiend, Bray Wyatt. Oh, we know how this plays out every time. Is McMahon about to be a victim of the Fiend? Well, he wasn't. Because before the Fiend could make any kind of sudden move on the chairman of the board, the Universal Champion Braun Strowman showed up, and it was about to go down. SummerSlam was about to come early for all of us, but then a bunch of hoodlums, hooligans, retribution showed up in the Thunderdome, and boy, there was a group of them. I mean, we've seen about maybe 5 or a small crew. Dude, they brought an army tonight. There was at least 15 to 20 of them. And they circled the ring. It looked like it was going to be Wyatt. It looked like the Fiend and Strowman were sitting ducks. Next thing you know, Fiend waves bye-bye to Strowman. Lights go out. Lights come back. Strowman's all by himself. And the Fiend's nowhere to be seen. Uh-oh. That's not good. Strength in numbers. So, they jump Strowman. Brutal beatdown like a pack of dogs. Next thing we know, the whole locker room clears out. Basically, all of the SmackDown talent jumps and gets the ring. They claim the ring for their own. They chase Retribution out the building. My goodness, what a way to start SmackDown Live and the new era in the Thunderdome. This was really good. Now, I'm gonna say I'm a little iffy about the crowd noise and everything else because of the fact that it still seems like it's audio induced. It's not the actual reaction from the people on the monitors in the dome. So I don't know how that's gonna work out. I thought Vince looked alright. I thought he was fine. I didn't mind the interruption with Wyatt. I thought that was pretty cool because what if he actually got his hands on the chairman of the board? How crazy would that have been? Because for the last week or so, we've been kind of torn. Is Wyatt a face? Is he a heel? Is Strowman a face? Or is he a heel? We don't know what's going on. It's kind of all over the place right now. This is really convoluted storyline. There's really nothing more to add. I mean, Strowman comes out. That's a nice little showdown. Then with Retribution showing up, I mean, alright, I liked how the SmackDown locker room cleared out, but there was one thing that did kind of bother me though. And really, I don't know if you guys caught it or not. The Miz was the last guy to run out to the ring and jump in. And that really makes me wonder, is the Miz some way somehow affiliated with Retribution? Because all the guys cleared out, and then once they literally cleared out of the ring and basically bailed out, the Miz jumped in, like literally last second. I hope that's just something, maybe I might be reading a little too much into it. Anthony Floyd, why don't you take this for a spin for a minute, all right?
Will do. This was a messy, overbooked segment, but it was certainly a memorable open. Rather than lingering on Vince McMahon as expected, the story shifted to Wyatt versus Strowman. The two almost coming to blows made for a fantastic tease. Retribution is growing too large for its own good. There is no way WWE will manage to satisfactorily establish it with this many members. At least they didn't get beat down by Strowman. The Thunderdome will take plenty of time to get used to. It is not a complete eyesore, but it is such a distraction from the action. There's too much happening with a clear focus. So, other than that, fine for what it was, like I said. So, nothing really more to say. Phenom, Michael Bullock, come on in. It's been a while since we've had a Smackdown chat. We had one tonight, and I couldn't think of a better night to do it than the debut of the Thunderdome. How about it?
Yeah, it's definitely a good way to start off that Smackdown chat with the debut.
It looks really good, to be quite honest here. But all in all, the segment, I mean, it was fine for what it was. I mean, like Florio mentioned, too much overbooked nonsense here. I mean, they didn't basically. I do like that they didn't put too much emphasis with McMahon and basically focused on Strowman and Wyatt. And yeah, we still don't know what to make of this Retribution squad here. So yeah, so like I said, fine for what it was, but it was just too much overbooking here. I mean, too much so. I mean, that's why to me, I mean, it was, shall we say, but nothing really special to write home about. So nothing more to say. DD Woodson, it's yours.
Yeah, it was a good opening. Yeah, a little bit of a mass chaos, but we all pretty much knew, every time something new happens, Vince has to come out, he has to introduce it, and of course that's what he did. He kind of welcomed us into the new era, the new kind of like the restart of WWE here with the Thunderdome and all the the virtual fans and everything. Kind of thought it was a little bizarre that the Fiend could, when they turned the lights off, also turned off all the fans at the same time. So it kind of controlled that. But, it was still good. It was definitely storyline building for that. I'm not really understanding why WWE is putting Retribution in. They did this on Raw too. Why they put them in at the beginning of the show and not, later on or something? What? Because the rest of the show, it's like, they didn't do anything. So I don't understand the placement for Retribution. Why they had to be at the beginning of the show, and why they weren't even mentioned for the rest of it. So, it is what it is. Opening, all right. Kind of like the virtual fans. Not a big fan of the piped in crowd noise, but like I said, it is what it is. So Not much more I'm going to say. It's yours, Fletch.
Let's get into some wrestling action, guys. So we started it off with Big E one-on-one with Sheamus. Winner of the bout in 10 minutes and 10 seconds was Big E. Anthony Florio, it is all yours, my friend.
Second best fight of the night here. I'm going to give this a solid 3 stars for the effort. The distractions at ringside coupled with acclimating to the Thunderdome made it hard to focus on the action. However, Sheamus and Big E worked extremely well together. This was expected given their tag team past, but it is nice to see what New Day's Heavy can do one-on-one in a longer match. It feels like Big E is on a path to gold. It is just a matter of continuing to win. If he can keep the streak going, he should get major opportunities sooner rather than later. The Celtic Warrior has struggled to pick up wins, but he is putting over his opponents in good matches every time. So I will say second best fight of the night on this, solid 3 stars. Nothing really more to say. Michael Bullock, Big E, he's continuing. He's continuing to rack up those wins. Could lead to some opportunities down the road.
It could be. I mean, yeah, we'll definitely have to wait and see. But a slight disagreement with you, Florio. I'm going to give this 2.5 stars. I mean, it was a good match, but the reason why I'm giving it 2.5 stars, number one, just too much craziness outside. Obviously, the whole thing with Corbin and Riddle. I mean, I don't understand the point of that during the match when it's basically focused on Big E versus Sheamus. That kind of irritated me some. I mean, you could have done it separately, but you had to do it during the match. I'm sorry, I just didn't like that. And of course, let's not forget, and you missed out on something, Florio. How did Big E win? He won it with the roll-up of Doom. And you know I'm not a big fan of winning with a roll-up.
I'm not either.
So, yeah, it's because of those two things. That's the reason why I'm giving it 2.5 stars. If none of those happen, then I would have given it 3. But 2.5 is my rating, so that's just how I feel. D.D. Woodson, it's yours.
I agree with the 2.5. Yeah, I mean, this would have been great if Big E would have won, cleanly without doing the roll up, and definitely having the guys out there at ringside, definitely a distraction. It made it look more like a lumberjack match, and that's not what it was. And going back to the last thing, something Fletch said was exactly something Kevin had said during Raw or during SmackDown about The Miz being the last one out and possibly being maybe the boss. But of course, we know a lot of the theories are all saying it's CM Punk, so we'll see what happens with that. I have no idea. We'll find that out eventually soon. But for right now, with this was definitely total chaos. The opening segment and this match, totally chaos. But still, you're doing the storyline building, yeah, but we didn't need that. Like Bullock said, we didn't need that during the match. You don't need Corbin taking out Riddle during this match. So yeah, it's just ridiculous. So it's yours, Fletch.
It was a little too much for the liking. It was like too much too soon. And I get it. And Anthony made a little gripe about the battle, the Thunderdome, and the whole 9 yards. But look, for our first night, yeah, look, I'm not going to be too harsh on the Thunderdome because of the fact that this is innovative and we got to kind of get used to it. We got to kind of ease into the situation. We'll probably ease into it later in the night, but as far as the start goes, yeah, it was kind of weird. It was like, whoa, because for the longest time we haven't really had fans or anything else. So now we really got something. So give it time. I think it'll work. But at the end of the day, we'll see what happens. As far as the match goes, I'll give it the 2.5. I'm with Didi and Mike Bullock with that. Next up we had was Shinsuke Nakamura and Cesaro versus versus Lince Dorado and Gran Metalik for the SmackDown Tag Team titles. The winners of the bout in 5 minutes and 35 seconds, and still the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, Shinsuke Nakamura and Cesaro. And Anthony, you know what? I remember Anthony was talking about the Freebird rule, and Michael Bullock, you get to lead off on this, but after what happened tonight, we might not be talking Freebird rule or tag team championships. We might be talking about a breakup with the Lucha House Party.
Yeah. Well, what was the time of the fall, Fletch?
5:35.
5:35. Yeah, a little too short for my liking, especially when it comes to a SmackDown tag team title fight. I'm gonna give this about 1.5 to 2 for the effort. I mean, I would have loved to see more out of this, but yeah, the big story out of this one, it looks like the Lucha House Party could be in for a breakup, because it looks like during the match there was a little miscommunication with especially with Kalisto and Gran Metalik, or should I say Lince Dorado, was none too pleased about it, and he wanted an explanation from Kalisto, and Gran Metalik was literally trying to separate the two and prevent them from prevent things from really getting ugly here. So, yeah, I think the Lucha House Party is eventually on their way towards a breakup. Well, basically with Lince Dorado, because I think he's pretty much had it up to here with Kalisto. So that's what I think is going to happen. So 1.5 to 2. Didi, what's in it? Yours?
Yeah, I think we're gonna see a possible breakup going on here. I mean, that was like total another total chaos, I guess you can say, right there between the members of Lucha House Party. So you got the poor guy in the middle here trying to hold off these two guys, and it just wasn't working. I'll agree with the rating. So, yeah, I'm not going to add a whole lot to it. So, it's yours, Fletch.
This is very interesting, and this is actually out of nowhere, because going into this, we were thinking, with the momentum that, especially what Gran Metalik had, his momentum was really high, that it definitely looked like there was a great chance that maybe Lucha House Party wins the tag team titles. Anthony even alluded to, could we see a Freebird rule? That now goes out the window, because Kalisto, I don't know what got into you, Holmes, but you better temper that temper down, or else I'm going to say, Padre Espiritu Santo, you might be going someplace you might not want to go. Maybe down where my boy Lucifer lives. Down that road. I don't even need to say that. Yeah, this was nuts. I mean, I cannot believe it. But hats off to the tag team champions. They were resourceful enough. They got the big win here, successfully defend their titles. But Anthony Florio, like we said, the biggest story that came out of it is the possible pending breakup of Lucha House Party. I mean, this was not in the cards. Nobody saw this coming.
No, nobody did. But this is as we always like to say, when we get, short matches but with a lot of action, a fun little sprint, and that's what this was. I will give it 2.5 stars for the effort. How this managed to go 5 minutes, though, was inexplicable. After weeks building to the title match, Cesaro and Nakamura stole a win before the action truly started moving. While the talent in this contest is immense, the short run time heightened the focus on one awkward botch in the match. The hint of Kalisto turning against Lucha House Party brings up an important idea for the future of this trio. Kalisto was once a much bigger star on his own. Keep that in mind. A former two-time United States heavyweight champion a number of years ago. And a cruiserweight champion, I believe, as well. He might thrive away from Dorado and Metalik rather than working as a cheerleader. So that's something to think about right there. But fun little sprint, though. Even with the short run time there, that's my only little nitpick. But other than that, it was a fun little sprint, though. 2.5 stars. Nothing more to say. So, MF, as we move on here, it's time for Bullock's favorite, the Golden Role Model, but something that we haven't seen in quite some time. It's been a while since we saw what happened tonight.
Hold on. Let me see. Is that legit? Because I know there was something before that. No, okay, all right. Yep, you're right. It was the Golden Role Models. They did cut a promo, which led to then Naomi came out, and they decided, let's do a beat the clock challenge. So how this was going to determine was basically whoever won the beat the clock challenge, Asuka would have to face second. So if Sasha won it, that means that the Raw Women's title would go later in the night. The SmackDown title would go first. If Bayley won, then basically Sasha would have to put her title first, and then Bayley would face off later in the night against Asuka. Well, Sasha Banks set the time and defeated Naomi at 3 minutes and 39 seconds. Then Naomi actually beat the clock. Bayley failed to win the match. Therefore, the Raw Women's title will go second. The SmackDown Women's title will go first. So Asuka has a chance to become the SmackDown Women's Champion first. Then later in the night, she'll have to fight Sasha for the Raw Women's title. So very, very, very interesting development that came out of this. So Didi Woodson, it was a great night for Sasha. Not so great night for Bayley. She's now forced to put her title first against the Empress of Tomorrow at SummerSlam.
This right here, it's kind of a 2-for-1 here. Definitely this whole thing with Naomi and Bayley and Sasha, you can definitely see the tension building between Bayley and Sasha, and I think we're back in line of them possibly building up this breakup, especially after Sasha won and Bayley lost. You could see Sasha kind of gloating a little bit and everything. And then in the end, when Asuka took out Sasha on the ramp, Bayley didn't help her friend. She just kind of ran past her. So you can really see the tension really starting to build on here. Out of the two matches, I think the Banks and Naomi match was actually the better of the two matches. I'm going to give it about 3 stars. It was a better match. And, these two actually, took it to that level where Bayley and Naomi, it just really didn't seem like it went anywhere because, Bayley, it was really, really short, and Bayley just didn't seem like she really just was in. I don't think she's completely in it because she just, she was just trying to go and go, ground pound, get, everything on Naomi, but at the end, Naomi just one hit and she's gone. So yeah, I mean, it just didn't seem like there was a lot there. So yeah, not much more I'm gonna add. I'm not going to give a rating for the Bailey one. It was just really too short. So it's yours, Fletch.
Yeah, no doubt about it. First off, you can definitely tell there is friction there, and I truly believe that. I don't believe Asuka's going to win both belts. I think she's going to get one of the two. But at the end of the night, you can definitely tell there is going to be a major breakup. Like, it's almost evident now. Like, I think Sasha and Bailey will break up at some point. They're going to lose. Somebody's going to eventually lose all the belts. I think the tag team titles are definitely going to be gone at some point, and one of the two is going to lose their individual title. So, I mean, that's where I think the drama is going to ensue. So, we're going to have to wait and see how it plays out. Yes, Sasha and Naomi was better, but for the satisfaction and the gratification, I think for all of us, I think we are probably more happier that Bailey lost more than Sasha lost. Even though Sasha has been a little bit of a pain in the neck, Bailey's been the ringleader of the whole thing since the very beginning. So I know Michael Bullock's probably more happier that Bailey lost. He'll probably tolerate Sasha win. He'll be like, all right, fine, whatever. She got to win. Good for her. That gets a little more momentum for her. But for Bailey to lose, somebody got their comeuppance here tonight. Anthony, NA on both matches, because I kind of feel like it's more segments than actual matches here.
That's exactly right. I mean, when it comes to beat the clock challenges, it's very, very tough to rank. So you're absolutely right, Evan. That's exactly what Bullock and I were thinking when we were having our SmackDown chat tonight. That's exactly what we thought. We were like, we're gonna tell MF we're gonna put an NA on this, whether he likes it or not. But thankfully he agreed. So, anyways, the content of this segment shined over the minutes the women were given. Banks and Bailey continued to work in an uneasy alliance where both women are too self-centered to play fair with their titles on the line. It seems a breakup is inevitable. Naomi could have easily lost both of these matches, and it would have been the same old story. Instead, the Glow defeated Bailey. The role model should never lose in less than 2 minutes, but at least Naomi didn't lose twice in less than 7 minutes. The Glow brought her best to these matches. Her athletic and smooth offense looked better than she often has in the ring. Hopefully, she gets a future title shot at Bailey after the role model likely or maybe escapes SummerSlam with her SmackDown Women's Championship, 315 days and counting. And hey, Naomi beat Bailey, so what does that tell you? Possible championship committee moment should Bailey get by Asuka Sunday night? Maybe. We'll see. It's definitely an NA for all of this, no doubt about it. So Bullock, nothing to worry about. MF agreed with us. We can easily no rate this, but your thoughts anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad he agreed to that it was going to be an NA. I mean, it felt more like a segment, but basically, I think this could once again lead up to maybe a possible breakup of Sasha and Bailey, because like you mentioned, I mean, after the match with Bailey and Naomi, and of course with Asuka attacking both of them, Bailey didn't even go to help Sasha. Now I'm sitting there like, what the hell are you doing? That's your friend. You're supposed to be helping her, and you're basically giving her the cold shoulder. I got a feeling that's going to lead to a potential breakup somewhere down the line. But we'll wait and see on that. So, yeah, there's really nothing more for me to add to it. So it's basically, like I said, I mean, we all say it's an NA, so nothing more to say. Let's move right along, Fletch.
Then we got a segment with Sonya Deville, and basically what happened was, all right, if you guys haven't been listening to a lot of the stuff that's been happening this past week, Sonya Deville was kind of gotten into a situation outside of the ring that was really, really, really scary and really messed up. And we don't really need to talk about it, but we do need to address it because it does have something to do with SummerSlam. What happened was, basically, it was Dana Brooke, and she was saying how she felt bad for Sonya with everything that's been happening outside of the ring. You know, there's been some events that's happened to her, and she, you know, as a concerned friend, Sonya's like, you know, I appreciate it, then slaps her in the face, being a pure heel. Then gets on the mic to challenge Mandy Rose to a no DQ loser must leave WWE matchup. Mandy has later accepted, so we know she's accepted. So hair versus hair is now off the table. And it's now going to be Sonya versus Mandy. No DQ. Loser leaves the WWE. Now, this stems from an incident that happened where an individual broke into Sonya Deville's house, tried to kidnap her, and try to basically harm her. He was a crazed fan, an idiotic fan. Mandy Rose was not far behind and was able to help Sonya get out and escape. Thank God. Authorities did arrest the man. He's in jail. They actually just had a pre-trial hearing yesterday. There will be a trial later on, I believe either in a month or so or down the line. And they're going to go to trial on this. I completely understand why WWE has changed course. Sonya and Mandy are gone through a lot lately. This is really, really, really bad. This was one of the best storylines we've ever had on Smackdown Live. And it's a damn shame that it has to end this way. Because sometimes real life gets involved. And you gotta protect not only the individual, but you gotta protect the ladies. And it's a damn shame because I think as much as we may say how great the storyline is, at the end of the day, they're people. They're human beings. Their life is also on the line here. And it's really scary to because you never know with the fans and how they could react to superstars. And that's why a lot of WWE superstars are so guarded nowadays. Because you never know who's gonna be, who's really for good intentions, trying to be a fan, get an autograph and anything else. And then you got those nut jobs out there, those wackos that takes it to a whole new level and a disturbing level that for me, I just can't condone this. And this really upsets me more than anything else. So my thoughts and prayers are with Sonya. My thoughts and prayers are with Mandy because I know they probably went through a lot this past week. And I think WWE has done the right thing to have this match. And I kind of believe it's probably going to be Sonya leaving, but she's going to need the time off. Hopefully, she gets the time, the clarity, whatever she needs to help to try to get through this. And even Mandy might need to take some time away from WWE just to clear her head too. So I don't think there's anything more to add. I mean, this was such a promising matchup, and I just feel like the rug just kind of got pulled out from under us, and it's not WWE's fault. Let's say it that way. It was not WWE's decision that they wanted it to do this, but they needed it to throw an audible, and I commend them for at least helping out and doing what I think is right. Anthony, it's all yours.
Yeah, but you know, with this no DQ stipulation, I mean, this could still end up being, you know, a possible sleeper fight of the night. You don't know that. So much for this being the second hair versus hair match in SummerSlam history. I guess X-Pac and Jarrett's going to remain the first and only. But anyways, I'm going to make it short and sweet here. Sonya Deville has nailed every single promo since her heel turn. This was no different. From her loud slap of Dana Brooke to her nonchalant laugh at the idea that Mandy Rose wanted to go back to the way things were, she added even more fire to this feud. And I think with this no DQ stipulation, I mean, who knows, MF? This could be reminiscent of, this could conjure up some memories, if you will, of Trish and Victoria's hardcore match at the 2002 Survivor Series. Maybe this no DQ stipulation is going to be their version of it. So we all remember how great that Victoria and Trish hardcore match, Survivor Series 2002 in Madison Square Garden, where Victoria won the women's championship from Trish Stratus on that night. So yeah, but yeah, you got to commend WWE though for what they did here. I mean, I'll be honest with you, there was a small part of me that was hoping that the hair stipulation would have stayed in place. I kind of would have loved to have seen it, but after what MF said, I mean, I definitely have to concur with it. I kind of wanted to see it, but you know, it is what it is. You know, you definitely have to feel for Sonya in that horrible ordeal. No one, I mean, no one should ever have to go through ridiculous BS like that. Absolutely horrible. So, yeah, to that ham and egg there, you're a special kind of stupid. That's what you are. So, yeah, you want to talk about lithium? Yeah, there's someone who clearly needs a lot of it. So, that's all there is to say on that. So, but it's gonna be a great matchup though, no doubt about it. So, MF, you might be a little bit discouraged, but don't be. I think that no DQ stipulation is gonna make it even better. So, that's really all I can say on that. Apparently, we've lost Michael Bullock. I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was a connection thing.
Probably connection, but Dee Dee was saying you can take over for the moment.
Yeah, we just have to give it to Dee Dee here. Dee Dee, it's yours. We lost Bullock, so.
Dee Dee, are you there? Oh, hold on. We got Bullock back.
Oh, okay, Bullock's back. Okay. Bullock,
Mike?
let's get your thoughts, Bullock, on that Sonya promo, and what about that slap on Dana? My goodness.
Yeah, I mean, Dana Brooke was just trying to be the person who was concerned for her. I mean, understanding especially with what she went through, but obviously the heel Sonya didn't want to hear it, and she also didn't want to patch things up with Mandy. She said, "You know what? I'm gonna up the ante more now. Instead, it's going to be a no disqualification. Loser leaves WWE." Yeah, I mean, you got to feel for them. I mean, with what went down this week, it was a very unfortunate situation with that ham and egger. That's, to me, is going to get exactly what he deserves with time in prison, hopefully. And yeah, I mean, it definitely takes some of the air out of the way this rivalry has been built, which has been spot on. But with everything that happened this past week, this was the only route WWE could go with this. And I got to commend them for it. normally we criticize WWE on so many different things, but this is one that we can't criticize them for. I mean, we can only hope that the members of the IWC don't do that as well, but we gotta commend them for what they did. And unfortunately, I think this is where Sonya Deville is going to end up losing this match. But like you said, MF, even if Mandy does win, which we think she will, maybe she's going to need some time off to process everything that happened. So, yeah, my thoughts definitely are with Sonya and Mandy after everything that they went through. And like I said, I got to commend WWE for what they did. I know it's not going to be the same as it was before all this, but I still think it's going to be good. I think it's just lost some of its luster. So, Dee Woodson, it's yours.
Yeah, WWE is handling this, the best way they can with the situation that Sonya's been through, and Dana Brooke, tried to be, the one who comes to give the support, gets slapped for it, but hey, it is what it is. It just makes Sonya look more like a heel, and then she cuts this promo that now turns this match to what it is now, and it's definitely up the ante, but at the same time, it's definitely going to be the best way to handle the whole situation with what happened to Sonya and everything, and because she is going to have to take time off so that she can go to the trial and stuff to give her testimony of what happened and everything, and so this is the best way to do it. Write her out for a little bit, and then maybe bring her back later. But for right now, this is definitely the best route to go, and they're definitely handling this very well for what real life kind of threw at them. So not much more I'm going to add. It's yours, Fletch.
Michael Bullock alludes to everything. A lot of the times we've been on WWE's case for a lot of time, for a lot of things, and a lot of questionable bookings and whatnot. This is one of those times where they actually got it right. So, for once, let's give them props. Let's give them their credit where credit is due, and let's move right along. Next up, we had was Jeff Hardy versus AJ Styles for the Intercontinental Championship. The winner of the bout in 11 minutes and 10 seconds. And new Intercontinental Champion, Jeff Hardy. Anthony Florio, it is all yours. History has been made tonight in the Thunderdome.
That is exactly how I had you saying it, MF. That is exactly how I had you saying it. No doubt about it. Just give me a moment here. I'm just trying to get the goosies there, trying to get the goosies out. I mean, every time I hear MF say that, the history has been made a la Gorilla Monsoon. I mean, I always get those goosies, man. I mean, they're going up and down my back as we speak here. I mean, man, I love that. Adrenaline rush instantly. Anywho, fight of the night, no question about this. 3.5 stars. The Phenomenal One and the Charismatic Enigma worked well together here. While Jeff Hardy limped through the match to sell his injury, he did not change his moveset much. He should already be trying to protect his knees in every match after all these years. It was a very good title match with a somewhat surprising finish. AJ Styles has been such a big part of SmackDown week to week as champion. Taking the title off him for Hardy, who is now a 5-time Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion, doesn't really add much to the blue brand, but I will commend them for that surprise factor. They obviously wanted to go for the moment there, and I'm kind of not surprised, to be honest here. first show in the Thunderdome, they obviously wanted to go for, you know, a big surprise moment. One of those you'll never see it coming moments. And that's clearly what happened here. And yeah, Jeff Hardy, congratulations, man. Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion, 5th time. I mean, and we thought he was on his way out because, you know, he was having some contract issues and, you know, that whole BS with Sheamus there. And now he's come full circle and has regained the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship. First time he's held that in quite a few years. I mean, I can't remember the last time he held it, but he's done it again. So you noticed that it was during the Retribution attack that AJ Styles nailed Jeff Hardy in the back of the right leg. And, well, it didn't work. It did not work. So great matchup here. This was hands down the fight of the night. 3.5 stars for me, mainly because of the title switch here. So really nothing more to say. Phenom, Michael Bullock, new Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion. And just as MF said, and as Gorilla always used to say, history was indeed made in the Thunderdome tonight. How about it?
Yeah, history was indeed made in the Thunderdome. I agree with the rating, 3.5 stars. The fight of the night, indeed. I mean, because of the moment where Jeff Hardy once again becomes the Intercontinental Champion. I mean, and you guys just mentioned it. I mean, especially you, Florio. I mean, we thought for sure that maybe Jeff Hardy was on his way out because of the whole contract issue with WWE, but I guess all is good, especially since now he's the Intercontinental Champion. So, yeah, so there's really nothing more to add to it. So, Dee Woodson, it's yours.
Yeah, I can agree with the rating. I mean, this was definitely a good way to end the match portion of SmackDown. You know, it definitely showed AJ Styles would do anything to try to win, and you know that his attempt actually failed, and you know, and it also was a nice I guess you could say a nice treat for the fact that Jeff has fought all these demons all the way up through this, and now he's trying to get clean. He's trying to basically restart his career, and now he finally got the title. He's finally back on top of that Intercontinental Mountain, and he's actually accomplished something without having his demons all right there with him. So him conquering the demons and now getting this, that's awesome. So I have nothing more to add. It's yours, Fletch.
All right, and then we leave at the end of the evening with a weird Firefly Funhouse. Okay, you got Hunkus looking like Braun Strowman, Ramblin' Rabbit as Alexa Bliss. I mean, when Dee Woodson and Michael Bullock were commenting this on the Messenger, I was like, what in the hell is this? Anthony, actually, who leads off on this? Michael Bullock, I think you lead off on this, brother. This was wild. It led to a brawl, and it led where Bray Wyatt ended up going into the ambulance due to Braun Strowman, but the Fiend was not that far behind. So, what says you? This was a crazy end to the show.
Yeah, it was a strange, creepy way to end SmackDown. I mean, with the way this whole thing has gone with Braun and Bray. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I really don't know what to say about it. I'm just all baffled by this whole thing. So I'm just going to give it to D.D. Woodson.
I think I said most of it on the private chat messenger. This was predictable but creepy. It was the puppets part was the creepiest, and it's like, you know, something most people just don't want to think about is, you know, the pig and the rabbit doing this play acting thing here. So I mean, it was just kind of gross. But I mean, you could almost predict that, you know, the Fiend was going to come out of the ambulance. You know, it was very, very, you know, that part was very, very predictable. You know, Strowman injuring Bray Wyatt, getting him in the ambulance. The ambulance starts to take off, comes back, Fiend pops out. You know, that part, like I said, a little predictable there, but this makes the second or third person who's actually made it inside the Firefly Funhouse. So, you know, that kind of proves it's not someplace that you can't get to. It's someplace that is right there. So, you know, because everybody's saying, "Well, this is his imagination and everything." No, you know, we've had other wrestlers actually in this thing, and you know, here we had them. This one in particular, dragging Bray out, where you had Seth Rollins who burned it down. So it's interesting, you know, the way they're playing this out, and so you know, I'm really curious how this is going to end up. So, you know, good storyline building, but like I said, it's still really, really weird and very, very predictable there at the end. So, not much more I'm going to add. It's yours, Fletch.
Yeah, this was pretty unique. It was fine. It was fun. It added a lot of elements to the match. It makes it a little more interesting. But like you said, it went from basically, you kind of felt like Strowman thought he had it. He basically took out Bray Wyatt, unless he was trying to bring the Fiend out again from earlier in the night. You know, it looked like they were about to brawl. It didn't happen. Fiend ducked out. So what do? How do you get the Fiend out? Go after Bray. Go after the alter ego. Take him out. And it looks like that's what he's done. He's trying to bring the Fiend out to destroy him any way possible. We'll talk about that match in a few minutes. Anthony, this was crazy.
Yeah. But before that, I mean, seeing Huskus the pig boy and Ramblin' Rabbit with that little ode to Nikki and Alexa there. I mean, did you see the shirt, the little T-shirt there that Huskus was wearing? Get these hoops. Yeah, if that's a T-shirt, I want it. That's all I can say on that. So
you got to be kidding me! Come on!
I couldn't help but laugh. Ask Bullock; he'll tell you firsthand. I was going.
Oh my god!
Get these hoops, baby. Yeah. But anywho, serious business now. While it would have been a better crowd-pleasing ending for AJ Styles versus Jeff Hardy to close out the night, this go-home show needed to end with a SummerSlam sell. Wyatt and Strowman is SmackDown's biggest selling point, so this brawl was the best bet to convince fans to tune in on Sunday night. The ending added to the horror aesthetic that has been a staple with The Fiend. While Wyatt is vulnerable, The Fiend revels in pain. He is an embodiment of pure evil beyond wrestling. It'll be fascinating to see how WWE books this match with the Monster Among Men on Sunday night for the Universal Championship. So, great way to close it out. So, and that, for the more to say, let's get into our overall thoughts.
And it's going to start with D.D. Woodson. So, D.D., I guess we could put the ratings back up because this was actually a live show with an actual crowd. So give me the number 1 to 10. What do you say about tonight's SmackDown?
7. I'll give it about a 7. Yeah, the beginning of the show, total chaos, but as a whole, it went along the form of what SmackDown usually does: storyline building the pay-per-view, giving you, if this was a food dish, they gave you the meat. They gave you what you needed to get to the next level. And we definitely got there with this. This was definitely a very good go-home show. The only reason I'm going 7 with it is, the total chaos at the beginning. The some of the matches not so great. Definitely, most of the segments definitely were relevant as far as doing the storyline building. Even the little interview thing with Nikki Cross. You're building the storyline. She's talking about how Alexa's acting since that whole thing with the Fiend and with Braun Strowman. Even though she really wasn't in it tonight, that you still had her included in this, just from that little segment. It just, the building blocks are all getting lined up here to build up for what we're going to see Sunday night, and I think they did an awesome job doing it. But at the same time, I brought up the Retribution thing. I don't think they should have thrown all that at the beginning and then just drop it. It doesn't make sense, but it is what it is. If you're going to do something like that, have them come out at the beginning. You need to continue them making the chaos throughout the night, not just kind of drop it. And they just didn't do that. They just kind of had them come out. I mean, what they did not long ago, they destroyed the ring, came out with chainsaws. Now they're just kind of not doing anything. They've destroyed the backstage area, but we're just going to stand here and try to take out Strowman, and that's it. They need to come up with something a little bit better for that. I mean, it's like you're introducing Nexus 2.0 with this group, but you don't have them doing much of anything except for one little segment, and they need to build off that a little bit more. We need to get a little bit more to build this group up, and I'm hoping once SummerSlam's over, we'll really explode with whatever Retribution is and find out exactly what they're attacking, since they've attacked both Raw and SmackDown, and are they going to cause any havoc during SummerSlam? That's the next big question. Are they going to cause any issues for us to have to deal with? So, like I said, good show. Not going to add too much more. So it's yours, Fletch.
I'll answer the first question for you about if Retribution is going to have something to do with SummerSlam. Absolutely, yes. I think they will. 7 out of 10 for me as well. I agree. I thought this was a solid show. I thought this was a very good show. First show in the Thunderdome. It's going to take a little getting used to, a little bit of some work around there, but at the end of the day, I thought they did a good job with it. I thought they did a solid job with it. I enjoyed it. I liked it. I cannot say anything more bad about that show. I thought it was a really good, solid event, and I think WWE just has to build off it a little bit. But, I gotta say, great first impression with the new Thunderdome. And now we go to NXT. And hello. Looks like we got ourselves a little friend on our screen. Hello, my friend. So
Callie.
It's Callie. Hello. So we got Callie in the house. one of the official mascots of the wrestling forum. So, no, like I said, 7 out of 10. Anthony, it's yours.
Yeah, 7 out of 10 is the correct rating for this. Solid show. Not the best show, but it was a solid show. I mean, Styles and Hardy, clear fight of the night. Big E and Sheamus had a solid Hoss match there. Tag team title match, fun little sprint, but with more time could have been even better. Sonya continues to kill it on the mic. I mean, that was an incredible promo that she cut there. And, the Strowman and Wyatt stuff, I mean, that was they really hammered that down tonight. I mean, really good stuff. So yeah, 7 out of 10. There's no question about that. So Bullock, quickly, so we can get into our other stuff here. Bullock, are you there?
Mike? He was there a second ago. Mike?
Go on.
Yeah, all right.
Well, there you go. Overall thoughts?
Yeah, I'll give it about a 7 out of 10 as well. I mean, yeah, like you said, I mean, look, I thought WWE did a good job, especially with the first night of the Thunderdome. It's going to take some time to get used to. I mean, this was the first night, so I'm sure as the days and weeks go by, I'm sure everyone will start getting used to it. So there's really nothing more to add. Fletch, let's get right into our preview, starting with Takeover 30 tomorrow night.
We're going to start it off with the pre-show match. I just want straight predictions, guys. No, nothing more than that. Triple threat match for the number 1 contendership for the tag team titles. Breezango, Oni Lorcan, and Danny Burch, and Joaquin Wilde and Raul Mendoza. I'm gonna go with Oni Lorcan and Danny Burch. I think they're gonna get the title shot. That's my prediction. So Anthony, it's yours.
Lorcan and Burch, I agree. Bullock, go on.
Lorcan and Burch is my pick. D. Woodson, go.
I can agree.
All right. So with that said, we're just going to get into the official fight card. 5 matches on the card, starting off with Finn Balor versus Timothy Thatcher. Anthony Florio, you lead off.
Wow, that's news to me. I didn't even know that was added.
This was just added. This actually was just added earlier today. Around 11 o'clock this morning, I found this one out. So Finn Balor versus Timothy Thatcher, 1-on-1.
Oh, yes. That is awesome. That makes me very happy. Oh, man, this could go either way. It really can. This has show stealer potential written over it. I mean, we already know what Finn Balor can do. But if you haven't seen Timothy Thatcher, let me tell you, you're going to be in for a treat. I mean, all of you know how high I am on Timothy Thatcher. And Finn Balor hasn't been really winning much matches lately. So I'm going to take a chance here, and I'm actually going to go with Timothy Thatcher to steal this. I think they're building on Thatcher here. I think Thatcher's in line for a push. I mean, I think he deserves one because this guy can bring it each and every week. And I've said it once, I'll say it again on this show. He screams future champion. That's all I can say on that. So I'm going to go with Timothy Thatcher to steal it in what I think could be a very exciting matchup here. No question about that. So Bullock, I'm going with the thinking man's wrestler, Timothy Thatcher, to pull the upset here. What says you?
Yeah, like you said, I mean, this is a tough one for me to call. I mean, this is a match that could go either way. I mean, part of me is telling me to go with Finn Balor. Another part of me is telling me to go with Timothy Thatcher. I mean, I like what I've seen from Thatcher, so you know what? I'm gonna go with Timothy Thatcher to go with the upset. I mean, some people are high on this guy, so I think a big win for Timothy Thatcher over Finn Balor, but somehow I would not be surprised if Finn Balor does get the win here. So
I'm going with Timothy Thatcher, Dee Woods, and it's yours.
I'm going with Balor, so it's yours, Fletch.
All right, and I'm going to go with the fellas, and I'm going to say Timothy Thatcher gets the win here. All right, so next up we have is for the NXT Women's Title, Io Shirai versus Dakota Kai. Michael Bullock, you lead off, my friend. Who wins in the women's title match?
Yeah. The thing is, we were all thinking going into this, we thought it was going to be a straight one-on-one with Io Shirai and Dakota Kai. But obviously we saw this past Wednesday night the return of Raquel Gonzalez. And yeah, Raquel Gonzalez definitely gives an edge to Dakota Kai. So Io Shirai is going to have to do something to basically have the referee catch Raquel Gonzalez and basically get her ejected from ringside and make it a one-on-one so she has a chance. So otherwise, she could be a factor here, Raquel Gonzalez. But I think it's too soon to take the title off of Io Shirai. I want her to get a nice, good run with it. I think it would be a mistake if Io Shirai loses the title here. So I'm going to go with Io Shirai either way to remain NXT Women's Champion. Dee Woods, and it's yours.
I agree. It's going to be Io Shirai. It's yours, Fletch.
All right, and I actually agree with. I'm actually going to agree with the guys here. I think Dakota is definitely worthy of being the NXT champion, but I don't think it's her time. Not yet. Io just got the belt. She just won the title not too long ago, knocking off Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley in a hellacious triple threat match. I think right now Io needs the moment more than anybody else. So winner and still champion Io Shirai. Anthony, final thought.
Unanimous. It seems unlikely that anything happens other than Shirai winning clean. Since winning the title at TakeOver in Your House in June, Shirai has only defended that title once. Dakota Kai will be an excellent opponent for Io Shirai, and the in-ring action should be great. But even with the potential for outside interference from Raquel Gonzalez, there's little doubt in my mind on who has the title at the end of the night. Winner and still NXT Women's Champion, the genius of the sky, Io Shirai, unanimous. Move on, MF.
All right, we're gonna move on right along to the five-way for the NXT North American Championship. Bronson Reed, Damian Priest, Cameron Grimes, Johnny Gargano, the Velveteen Dream, Dee Woodson, who becomes the undisputed North American champion?
Damian Priest.
Oh, okay. So she goes with Damian Priest to win it all. All right. Ooh, this is tough. I'm gonna go with Bronson Reed. I'm gonna say Bronson Reed wins it all. You know, Bronson Reed shocked NXT World when he won his preliminary match. And if you remember, he had Finn Balor and I think Johnny Gargano in his match. And some way, somehow, he came out of it with a big victory. So, for me, I think he's worthy of the opportunity. Now, the outside pick, for me, is Velveteen Dream. Now, I know. What? Velveteen Dream? No, please don't let it be him. I know. We all know what's happened with Dream. We all know the negativity. We all know the allegations that's going on with him. But if there's one guy that's probably the most deserving, other than Damian Priest, which I agree with, Bronson Reed is the other one. And I believe Bronson's going to win it all. This is going to be disagreements all over the place, I bet. Anthony Florio, it's yours.
Yeah. After winning the NXT Championship, Keith Lee relinquished the North American title to open up opportunities to other members of the roster, leading to this ladder match and a complicated path to name the participants. Now seeing the lineup, there are a few directions things could go. The biggest stars coming into the match are Gargano and Dream. But putting the belt on Gargano wouldn't really benefit him, and putting it on Dream feels like a potential PR disaster. Priest and Reed, both of them feel like the right choices here. Both guys would gain a career milestone and be a force as a champion. My gut is telling me to go with Damian Priest, but my heart is telling me to go with Bronson Reed. But I'm gonna take the chance here. I'm actually gonna go with D.D. Woodson on this one. I'm gonna say Damian Priest wins it, but I would not at all be surprised if Bronson Reed walks out the North American champion. I would not. It's definitely one of those two. So, nothing more to say. All right, Mr. NXT, who's walking out with your North American championship?
I'm gonna go with Bronson Reed to become the NXT North American champion. I mean, this guy's been on such a roll. I mean, a win to basically for him to get into it. But yeah, that's who I'm going with here. I think Johnny Gargano, putting it on him would be a mistake, and it would be a huge mistake if they put the title on the Velveteen Dream, because, like you said, MF, this has got PR disaster. Well, actually, it was Florio who said it. I mean, this has got the potential for a PR disaster and a major, major backlash if they actually put the title on him. So, yeah, so there's really nothing more to say on it. I'm going to go with Bronson Reed to become the NXT North American champion. And now it's time to get to the main event and the man who...
There's a couple of other matches there, Bullock.
Oh, all right. I thought that.
Yeah, no, we're not at main event yet. There's actually one more match we got to get into, which is the grudge match. Adam Cole versus Pat McAfee one-on-one. All right, now let me take this away. No heel commentator. Let me be professional about this. Any other time, I would say Adam Cole wins easily. Superior wrestling. McAfee's not a great, not a wrestler. You want to shut him up and the whole 9 yards. But there is a scenario that actually opens the door for McAfee to win, and I'm going to go through that door. I think the Undisputed Era is going to turn on Adam Cole. I'm there. I said it. I think one of the guys is going to turn on Cole and help McAfee win the battle. Because, number one, WWE celebrities always beat the WWE superstar. I don't ever remember a time, now this could be me, I don't ever remember a time where a celebrity has lost in a match to a WWE superstar. Not very rare have I seen that. McAfee is a special guest. Now, could they implement it and add some more layers to it? Yes. But something tells me that Adam Cole is definitely heading to the main roster soon. But I think they're gonna want to give McAfee the win because I think there's gonna be a split in Undisputed Era. Now, I'm trying to pin down who's the one that's going to turn on Cole. I think it's going to be Roderick Strong. Strong and Cole has always had a rivalry. There's always been some friction between the two. I think that's where the line is going to be drawn. So I'm going to go out there on a humongous limb. Winner of the match, Pat McAfee. Florio, go.
Yeah, the only time I can ever remember a celebrity, not going over was when Shaquille O'Neal entered the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal at WrestleMania 32. He did not win that. Corbin did. So that's the only time I can ever remember a celebrity not going over. But then again, when we talk about other matches, like pure wrestling matches, aside from a Battle Royal, the celebrities always won. Whether it was Mr. T at WrestleManias 1 and 2, Mayweather, going on down the line. I mean, even at a SummerSlam with MF's boy there, Stephen Amell, from one of his favorite shows, Arrow. I mean, list goes on down the line. I mean, celebrity tie-ins, the celebrity almost always wins. It's like a 9 out of 10. So I don't know how you put the former NFL punter, pre-show host, and radio personality over the most successful NXT champion in the brand's history. But that's what I'm going with here. I agree with MF. It seems like this is an angle that has some sort of longer-term play in mind. And I don't know that going the very expected direction of having Cole go over does anything other than immediately halt any momentum on the already questionable storyline. And I'd also agree with MF that the assumption here is someone helps McAfee score a cheap win to set up the next step in Adam Cole's career. He's definitely on his way to the main roster, and when that happens, I pray to God that he'll be on Team Red. That's all I can say on that. So I would Monday Night Raw, and I would gladly welcome Adam Cole, baby, with open arms. No doubt about that. And I know MF feels the same way if he ends up on Friday Night SmackDown. So, but anyways, I'm sorry to do it to you, Bullock. I mean, I know this is not what you want to hear, but I have to agree with MF on this one. I have to go with Pat McAfee to win. Celebrity tie-in. I'm sorry to say it. So, I know this is not going to be unanimous. I know Bullock is going to be the lone wolf on this one. So, I'm sorry, Bullock, but MF and I, we got to go with the brand on this one. Sorry. I already know where you're headed.
Florio and Fletch, you are out of your freaking mind. You're gonna let somebody. You're gonna pick somebody who's trashed my brand, saying that it sucks, it's stupid, that someone like Pat McAfee, who says all that, is going to win this match? I don't think so. Not in my house. Not in NXT. Now, here's the thing. As a professional, I'm going to agree. Now, Florio, what's the saying you always say? You go with your heart or your gut?
Yeah, I believe that's right.
And, well, now, here's what I say, Florio. As a professional, I agree with you and Fletch. I'm going to go with Pat McAfee as well. I agree with everything. But as a fan, and as a fan of NXT, I hope Adam Cole beats the shit out of Pat McAfee and gives him the ass kicking that he so freaking deserves for all the shit he's been talking about with NXT. So, professionally, I'm going with Pat McAfee, but as a fan, who's a protector and a savior of the brand of NXT, Adam Cole. And I hope Pat McAfee gets what's coming to him. So that's just how I'm going with it. So, Dee Dee Woodson, it's yours.
Yeah, I'll agree with you guys. I think McAfee will win. But we also have this rumor of this draft that's getting ready to happen as well. And, I have a feeling we're going to be seeing, if not, just Adam Cole, but maybe more than one member of Undisputed Era going up to the next level, which would be either Raw or SmackDown. And either way, either show is going to benefit. I have a feeling from that, because both shows the tag teams have gotten kind of stale. So we're definitely needing a shakeup there. We're needing some new talent to come in, new blood to really revamp the tag teams for both shows. So that's my 2 cents. So it's yours, Fletch.
Now we go to the main event of the evening for the NXT World Title. The champion, Keith Lee, versus the challenger, Karrion Kross, and I believe it is Anthony Florio that leads off on the NXT main event.
This is going to be something. This feels like a situation where the match itself is big and there's reason to be excited about it. But I think it's happening too soon for both men. Kross was rushed into a title shot, and it feels too soon for him to lose. At the same time, we're still so early in Lee's run as champion that it's too early to have him lose the belt. That leaves a few escape hatches of disqualifications, countouts, or other non-finish options if they want to avoid putting either guy over clean. Still, I feel like Kross will simply eat the loss since his character doesn't entirely depend on being a champion to be effective, while Lee as champion is a big boost. So I'm going to take a chance here and say the winner and still the NXT champion, the limitless one, Keith Lee. Michael Bullock, Mr. NXT, who's walking out with your belt?
Man, this is a tough one here. I mean, people are saying that it's too soon for Karrion Kross to get this opportunity. I mean, because here's the thing. He's been on such a roll, and now you put him in a big title match, and if you have him lose, that's going to break off his momentum. And when it comes to Keith Lee, people think I think we all agree that it's too soon to take the title off of him after he had won it back at the Great American Bash. Maybe this is the part where we get a count out or maybe some kind of a disqualification. But to me, either way, whether it's that or even with a pinfall. So to me, either way, I'm going to say, you know what? I'm going to say it. Winner and still the NXT champion, Keith Lee. So there's really nothing more to say. Dee Woodson, it's yours.
No matter if it's a clean win or a DQ, I think Keith Lee's going to retain. So it's yours, Fletch.
I totally agree with you guys. The way I see it, I'm going to go the same way like you guys have been going. I believe when it's all said and done, the winner of the bout and still the NXT World Champion will be the limitless one. We will bask in the glory of the one, Keith Lee. Alright guys, so that's it for NXT TakeOver. But we got one more thing to settle. That's right guys, it's time. We're going to go rapid fire on this one for WWE Summerslam going down at Orlando, Florida at the Amway Arena with the Thunderdome. So we're going to go very quickly here. So we're going to start it off with the no DQ loser leave WWE match. Mandy Rose versus Sonya Deville. Based off of all the stuff that has happened in the last few days, I say winner of the bout is Mandy Rose. Anthony?
Definitely. Deville and Rose have been helped massively. They've both been helped massively by these few weeks becoming more prominent superstars in their own right. And however, nobody has benefited more than Deville, who has proven to be one of the best promos in the women's division and a future star in the company. Deville has gotten over on Rose many times with attacks, including already cutting her hair, that it seems unnecessary for her to follow through and win this match as well. From a practical standpoint, Rose has already created a new look for herself and has some backup in Otis, whereas Deville's backup, Dolph Ziggler, is now on Raw. Mandy Rose wins, feud's over. Sonya's going home, obviously, to recover from her ordeal. So Mandy Rose wins it. We said it last week. We'll say it again here. Mandy Rose wins. Bullet, go.
Yeah, I'm going with Mandy Rose to win, and Sonya Deville leaves WWE basically to get over everything that she's been going through right now. So Dee Woodson, it's yours.
Totally agree. So it's yours, Fletch.
All right, we're going to shift gears, and we're going to go to Monday Night Raw, the street fight. Dominic Mysterio one-on-one with Seth Rollins. Florio, who do you got?
Well, what a moment for Dominic Mysterio here, folks. I mean, 15 years ago, SummerSlam 2005, he captured our hearts as that innocent young man who was involved in that Rey Mysterio, Eddie Guerrero saga, that ladder match for the custody of him that stole the damn show. Rey won it. We all know that story. We all fell in love with him then. And you know what? We had that feel-good moment 15 years ago. I think we're going to get it again. I'm calling for the upset here. Over the past few weeks during this build, I had been heavily leaning toward Rollins to win. That changed this past Monday on Raw when it was announced that Rey Mysterio would be in his son's corner. If there is one feel-good moment on this show that I would be comfortable putting my money on, it's father and son standing tall after vanquishing the dastardly Messiah that has caused so much hurt to their family recently. Dominic Mysterio officially gets his career as a WWE superstar kick-started on a very high note. We saw it 15 years ago. I think we're going to get it again here. So, and besides, Rollins has already had enough SummerSlam moments anyway. The double championship in 15, winning the tag titles in 17, Intercontinental 2 years ago, and then slaying the Beast last year. I think it's time that Rollins can take a defeat here for the first time in 4 years. So Dominic Mysterio is my pick to win. Michael Bullock, I smell a feel-good moment from 15 years ago. Revisit it. What do you say?
I say the same thing too. I smell that same thing as well. Dominic Mysterio wins. Dee Woodson, is yours.
Dominic wins.
And I agree. I'll go unanimous. Dominic Mysterio for the victory. U.S. title on the line, as it is Apollo Crews putting the title on the line against MVP. Michael Bullock, you lead off.
Yeah, this whole thing has been going back and forth with Apollo Crews and MVP, but I don't see how they can put the title back on MVP. So to me, winner and still United States champion Apollo Crews. Dee Woodson, it's yours.
Crews.
Agreed. Apollo Crews successfully defends the title. Anthony?
Her business is not involved. I got to say Apollo Crews wins, but don't be surprised if somehow MVP steals it. So Apollo Crews, move on.
All right. Raw Tag Team titles on the line, as it is the Street Profits versus Andrade and Angel Garza. Dee Woodson, who do you got?
Street Profits retain.
I disagree. I'm sorry. I got Andrade and I got Angel Garza winning the tag team titles. Anthony, my prediction is we got new tag champions.
And real quick, I just want to say, if MVP is going to win it, don't be surprised if it's Cedric Alexander that gets involved and possibly turns heel after what we saw on Monday Night Raw this past week. But anywho, this is a tough one. I want to say the Street Profits, but then again, I could see Garza and Andrade winning the belt here. I mean, Street Profits have had them for a while. I can see them. I can see Andrade and Garza succeeding much more in the near future as singles stars. Remember, they've had a lot of tension lately, so that might come into play. They've teased some animosity between the two in the recent past, as Zelina Vega has struggled to rein them back. Some more miscommunication between the two here leads to the Street Profits retaining and eventually dropping the titles to a more established tag team, maybe a newly heel-turned Viking Raiders. All I know. So I'm going to take a chance. I'm going to go with the Street Profits to successfully defend because of the miscommunication and tension that we've seen with Garza and Andrade. But if we get new champions, I would not be surprised at all. So Bullock, what says you?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Street Profits to retain the Raw Tag Team titles, only because
because of the tension going on with Angel Garza and Andrade. So Fletch, it's yours.
All right, and with that said, we now go to the two women's title matches. First, the SmackDown Women's title on the line as it's Bayley versus Asuka. Based off what I saw tonight, I believe Bayley will beat Asuka to successfully defend the SmackDown Women's title. If Asuka's winning any belts, she's gonna get the Raw Women's title back. I believe Bayley will win. I think she'll cheat to win, but Bayley will keep the SmackDown Women's title. I think Asuka will become the Raw Women's Champion. Anthony, go.
Yeah, you make a great point, MF. And here's the other thing. Have any of you ever recalled Bayley ever beating Asuka? I haven't.
No, she never has.
I can't think of a better time. Over the past 9 months or so, we've seen Bayley and Sasha become, whether Bullock likes it or not, arguably the most entertaining part of WWE's product. Each lady are doing the best work of their careers, and the decision to hold off a T split has ultimately been a good one. But that split needs to come, and I think we see the first significant crack of it on Sunday night. Bayley fights first at SummerSlam and retains her title with Banks' help. However, later in the night, when Bayley tries to help Sasha, she could probably fail, and it could result in Sasha losing the Raw belt. Bayley already indicated in a key backstage moment that the SmackDown title is important to her, while Banks' solo success is not. Banks has been giving us numerous teases of an eventual split over the last 5 or 6 months, and while I doubt it pops off Sunday, I believe the first significant crack in that relationship will form, with the second possibly being the loss of their tag team titles at the Payback event the following week. So, with that being said, winner and still the SmackDown Women's Champion, it is Bayley. As much as I would love to see Asuka steal the SmackDown Women's title and hold it on Raw, I would love to see that, but I just can't do it. I'm sorry. So, winner and still SmackDown Women's Champion, Bayley. Bullock, I know you don't like it, but it's going to have to be Bayley those straps, at least for a little bit longer.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's going to be Bayley still retaining the SmackDown Women's title. And like you brought it up, I mean, she hasn't beaten Asuka, and I think this is going to be the time, even though she's going to cheat to win in some dirty way that I don't like it, but I do think that Sasha Banks is going to lose the Raw Women's title, and Asuka is going to get it back. So Bayley defeats Asuka, but Asuka will get her Raw Women's title back from Sasha Banks. So yeah, basically, like you said, this is Sunday is going to be the start of a potential breakup with Sasha and Bayley. Even though we saw a little preview of it tonight on SmackDown. So Fletch, it's yours.
You totally just bypassed Dee Woodson.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Dee, it's yours, love.
Oh, I don't like that.
Hold on.
Bullock, you're a dead man. Mama's not happy with you right now.
Couldn't wait to move on there, could you, Bullock? No, Dee, no.
All right. Yeah, he's made the list. Okay.
Oh boy, I don't like that, especially when it's Dee Woodson's list.
All right. Yeah, I'm going with Bayley to win this. A lot of it's because of everything happened tonight and everything, but the other thing, with Asuka, possibly getting the Raw is Banks has one of the worst records for trying to retain titles at pay-per-views. So yeah, that pretty much sums it up. Bailey will retain, and I think Banks will lose it. So it's yours, Fletch.
We now come to the 2 title fights of the evening. First, the SmackDown main event for the Universal Championship. Braun Strowman versus The Fiend Bray Wyatt. And who leads off on this one? I believe it goes to Anthony Florio. All right. So, Anthony, you lead off on the SmackDown main event for the Universal Championship.
Wow, Raw guy leading off on the SmackDown main event. Okay, that's cool.
I know, a little weird.
Yeah, it would be like you. It would be like you, Mr. SmackDown, leading off on a Raw main event or whatever. But anywho, quickly, just to make sure, just for edification purposes, Asuka will regain the Raw Women's Championship and bring the Raw Women's Championship back home where it belongs. And prior to that bout, Bailey will find a way to get past Asuka through nefarious means to retain the SmackDown Women's title. Sasha will not be so fortunate. Asuka takes back the Raw Women's title and will give us all the title feud that I and all of us want to see on Monday nights with Shayna Baszler. And hopefully Sasha's failure will help kickstart the breakup with Bailey, especially with their tag title defense the following week. But anyway, as far as this goes with the Universal Championship on the line, there's only one way this goes. New champion. It's finally time to put this feud to bed. Strowman has gotten past Firefly Funhouse Bray and Wyatt family Bray in the Swamp match, and now has brought out the Fiend. While Strowman has been countered by becoming the monster, the clear plan has seemed to be Wyatt winning the title back when the Fiend reemerged. Payback hanging over SummerSlam adds levels of uncertainty to every match, including this one. The first meeting of the Fiend and the Monster could well end without a clear winner, just for things to get sorted the following week. But if there is a winner on Sunday night, it will be the Fiend. So, winner, and once again, Universal Champion, it's the Fiend, Bray Wyatt. Michael Bullock, what do you say to that?
I agree. Winner and new Universal Champion, the Fiend, Bray Wyatt. He gets his title rightfully back after being, to me, as I like to say, totally robbed of it when he lost to Bill Goldberg at Super Showdown. So nothing more to say. Dee Woodson, it's yours.
Yeah, the Fiend's gonna get it, so it's yours, Fletch.
And I totally agree. Fiend wins the title. All right, main event for SummerSlam for the WWE title. Randy Orton versus the champion Drew McIntyre. Michael Bullock leads off on the main event of the evening.
Man, oh man, oh man. I mean, to me, this is a tough one here. I mean, after everything that went down on Monday night, I mean, especially with what happened at the end, and then, of course, with what happened at the beginning of the show, I mean, so many things could possibly happen. But I can't believe I'm about to do this. And I heard this from Florio on Monday night. I'm actually going to do something I never would have thought I've done. I'm going to say there's no winner here. I think the match is going to end via a throwout. And you want to know the reason why? Retribution. I think they're going to get involved some way. They're going to cause chaos like they've always done. They're going to cause... There's not going to be the match to get thrown out. And I think we're going to get a rematch to determine a winner at the next pay-per-view Payback. So I can't believe I'm doing this. I don't want to, but because of some of the things I have been hearing, I say this match ends in a no contest. Dee Woodson, it's yours.
Yeah, I'll say McIntyre retains, and just like I said with with Cole's match, it doesn't matter if it's a clean win or a DQ or what. He's going to walk out with the title and cause, it could possibly cause a rematch with these guys. So I don't know if this feud's. I don't think this feud's going to be over with one match. So it's yours, Fletch.
I think it's going to be an overbooked finish. Yes, I think Retribution will get involved in the match, but I will say when it's all said and done, new WWE Champion Randy Orton. Orton will benefit from Retribution and will punt Drew McIntyre's head off to win the title. Winner and new champion Randy Orton. Anthony Florio, you close us out.
And I'm not at all surprised that MF went with Randy Orton because he is the Orton mark after all here. So no surprise here. But yeah, I dropped that scenario on Bullock during our Raw chat Monday night. I read a dirt sheet saying that Retribution could get involved and that we would end up having a no finish, and then they would book an immediate rematch for the Payback event the following week. That's very possible. Another scenario, and this is another scenario I read. Ric Flair could possibly get involved and actually help Randy Orton win the title. That's another scenario that's been thrown around. But then I've been reading dirt sheets lately that they might be actually leaning towards McIntyre retaining. There are so many ways to look at the booking of this match. The last couple of months, Orton is the only reasonable person to take the title off McIntyre unless WWE plans to expand Drew's reign past Survivor Series. Orton is arguably doing the best work of his career. He's still one of WWE's most popular superstars, and McIntyre has beaten every other legitimate heel on Raw. But believe it or not, the Thunderdome, you know, that's something to think about. McIntyre never got a true crowning moment, and yet to feel the actual adulation of fans, the Thunderdome provides the opportunity for McIntyre to get the WrestleMania moment he did not get and should have gotten at WrestleMania. Is that enough for WWE to either change its plans or keep the title on him? I'm not sure. But I could certainly see why a retention could be booked here. My gut tells me to go with the no contest, but at the same time, I still believe in Drew McIntyre. I still believe in him. But if McIntyre loses the belt to Orton, I would not be entirely surprised, considering that Orton has done the personal best work of his career. But let's be realistic. The real plan is for Orton and Edge to have, another WrestleMania bout. Does it really need the title? I say no, because Orton and Edge is based on name recognition alone. Those two could sell a WrestleMania match. You don't need the title. But then again, we said the same thing about Goldberg and Brock Lesnar for the Universal belt a number of years ago. And what happened? They put the title in there when it really didn't need to be. But, we'll see. But I'm gonna go with Bullock here and say that there's gonna be a no finish because of Retribution. But if I had to pick a winner, I'm still going with my guy Drew McIntyre. I still believe in him. But MF, if your guy Orton wins it, I would not be entirely surprised. I mean, he's got world title experience at SummerSlam. He's won 3 of his world titles at SummerSlam. Youngest champion in 2004, beating Benoit. Winning the world heavyweight title from Christian. No holds barred match that stole the damn show in 2011.
And the infamous Money in the Bank cash-in after stealing the moment from Daniel Bryan, thanks to Triple H.
And that was 90th Authority.
Yep.
So he's won 3 world titles at SummerSlam. I mean, could there be a 4th? Very possible. But I still believe in my guy Drew, so that's it.
All right. Tomorrow night, we will have a recap of the AEW Dynamite, and we're going to review NXT Takeover 30. And then Sunday night, right here on this channel, we will recap SummerSlam, Monday Night Ridiculously Raw, the fallout from the show, and then we got a busy week because after that, we got Strictly Sports on Thursday because we're going to be covering the second round of the NHL playoffs and maybe the second round of the NBA, pending. We don't know yet. And then, of course, 1 week from tonight, we'll be back here for another edition of Smackdown Live, and we got a preview Payback. So we're going to be back at it again. So we got a lot to talk about, guys. So we got nothing more to say. Yeah, well, the thing is with Wednesday Night Mayhem, it might be just Is it NXT or is AEW back as well, or are they?
It's just NXT again, but AEW is actually going to be on
Thursday.
Something to think about.
Ooh, we'll think about it. We'll get back to you about it, guys. Don't worry. We got a lot coming up until then. So, for Anthony Foyo, for Michael Bullock, for Dee Woodson, I'm Michael Fletcher. Thank you so much, everybody. You know the routine. Like the video, leave a comment at the bottom, share with all your friends on all the social media platforms. Oh, wait! You know what? I forgot the bomb. Somebody's going to the Thunderdome. One of us is going to the Dome on Sunday night. I wonder who it could be.
Is it you, Emmett?
It's not me. It's not me, guys. I'm not going to the Dome. Is it you, Florio?
No, it's not me.
It ain't you?
And it's definitely not me, so that means...
Dee, do you got something to tell the world?
Yes, I got in on the Thunderdome with logging in. So yeah, should pop up on the little wall of people. So we'll see what happens.
Guys, the first Wrestling Forum crew member has gotten into the Dome, and it's our very own First Lady, Dee Woodson. So go in there. If you see her, show some love. Show some love for her, as always, and we'll be recapping it. We'll get her first-hand experience inside the Thunderdome on Sunday night. And until then, we will see you tomorrow night for another edition of the Wrestling Forum. Until then, so long, everybody.